Statement and course of action is similar to statement conclusion and statement argument videos which we have already seen. Okay, check out these videos so that you will have a better idea. The only difference between statement conclusion or statement argument and statement course of action is that here you have to go one step ahead. Instead of concluding, you have to decide what exactly the next step should be. Okay, course of action means step or steps taken to solve or minimize the problem. Okay, you are not deriving any conclusion or you are not deriving any argument or anything like that from this given problem statement or a situation. You are just determining what the next step should be so that the problem is solved, or at least the problem is minimized to a great extent. Okay, so this is what we call as course of action. Now why this topic is important? Because here your entire mindset is tested. Okay, this is the most important topic when it comes to logical reasoning, because this decides how you take decisions. What exactly is your mindset? Can you take harsh decisions, or do you unnecessarily take risk, or you don't take risk? How planned, organized you are? Everything is tested in this topic of statement course of action. So it is very much important topic, and you should be prepared to the best while handling sums or problems related to statement course of action. Now, an important tip while solving the sums related to statement course of action, it is like first is just like statement conclusion and statement argument. Whatever statement that has been given, it should be taken as true. Even if it is impossible, impractical or something like that, you have to always take everything given in the statement as true, right? Now the second and the most important tip related to these type of problems is that always choose a practical solution. Okay, always choose a practical solution. What do you mean by practical solution? Practical solution means the solution which can be implemented and which actually logically follows the problem statement. Okay, now for example, if I fall down, okay, if I fall down and I get hurt, what is the practical solution, or what should logically follow? I should clean the wound. Okay, that is what is logic, that is what logically follows after falling down from stairs or something like that on getting hurt. That is a practical solution which can be implemented. But if I say that after falling down from the stairs, I should fly directly to doctor and all that stuff, it is not practical, it is not logical. So you should not select such options. Always select practical actions. Now, what is the other meaning of practical? Okay, sometimes practical actions may not solve your problem. Okay, so always choose practical option which solves your problem or minimizes the problem. Okay, so the solution or the option which you are choosing, it should either solve your problem or it should minimize the problem. Also, the solution which you are choosing, okay, that should be extremely relevant to the given problem statement or situation, right? If it is irrelevant, even if it is practical, then you should not choose that solution. Okay, it has to be relevant and practical. Okay, now another very important tip, while choosing the practical solution or while choosing the practical action, make sure that action does not give birth to new or other problems. Okay, so it should be a solution in itself, it should not give birth to new problems. We will take a look at an example that will explain what exactly we are meaning by should not give birth to other problems. Okay, let's see the example so you will understand in a better manner. Statement: on a particular highway, number of road accidents have increased by many folds. Action: personal monitoring should be done by the police officials on each and every vehicle. Now over here, look at the action. Now we know that personal monitoring by police officials is a very good idea. Okay, so this is a really nice idea to make sure that the accidents don't happen. However, if you see carefully, they say that personal monitoring should be done on each and every vehicle. This is actually really impractical. Okay, because what we can say is that there are thousands and lakhs of vehicles going through the road or a highway. Okay, it is really very impractical to monitor each and every vehicle. So even if we say what will happen because of this impractical solution is that a newer problem will be created, that we will need more police officials to monitor the highway. So if entire force gets diverted to the highway, then the other areas which are there, which requires monitoring or which requires the help of police officials, what will they do? Okay, so because of such solutions, more problems are created in other areas. So such solutions should be avoided. So this is a very wrong action that should not be taken. Okay, so this is an example where we see that we should always choose an option, or we should always choose a practical action which does not give birth to other problems. Okay, we'll see more and more examples and try to unfold what all things we should do and what type of actions we should choose. Moving to question number 2. Statement: Company Z is incurring huge losses due to many competitors in the market. Actions: Company Z should offer a huge discount on all its products and attract customers. Company Z should study its competitors, their products and methods. Both the options are practical, logical and can be implemented. But we need to remember one very important tip. Please pay attention, it is important. Never choose a option or an action whose outcome you can never predict. Okay, if we take that action, what exact the outcome would be if we are not able to predict, we should not choose that action. Over here we say Company Z should study its competitors, their products and methods. Here we know the outcome, that Company Z will understand what exactly the competitor is doing, what their product is, what is the quality of the product, what method or strategy they use for marketing and all that stuff. Okay, the outcome we can predict over here. Over here, on offering a huge discount on all the products, there is no guarantee that customers will come. We cannot predict that. Also, apart from this, already the company is incurring huge losses. This discount will put a dent in the company's financials. There is a chance if customers don't come, again it would be a very huge dent. It is a huge risk. We cannot predict the outcome. So this is a wrong option. So always choose the option where you can predict the outcome. Never go in for risky options where outcome cannot be predicted. Statement: The authorities in Society X are cracking down on street hawkers, blaming them for traffic jams near their society. Action: Street hawkers should not be allowed during peak hours. Street hawkers should be warned and asked not to create chaos. Now the second action looks practical, that they should be warned, they should be asked not to create chaos. So this is a practical and viable solution. Okay, now let's see the first action. Street hawkers should not be allowed during peak hours. Okay, now this is actually a practical solution, but it is extremely difficult to implement. Why? Because how many street hawkers are you going to stop? Even if you put up boards, some or the other day someone comes and they might sit during peak hours, or they might pass from in front of the society during peak hours. So it is very difficult to implement this suggestion. Though it is practical, though we can say that okay, it can be implemented, but the amount of resources needed would be more. So this is actually very difficult to implement, so we should not consider this action. The course of action which is most appropriate would be street hawkers should be warned and asked not to create chaos. Okay, so only 2 follows, that is the answer. Statement: Many people in city Y are suffering from flu. Actions: The municipal corporation should take immediate steps to control the disease. Yes, this is a very practical action which should be taken, because if they are suffering from flu, this is needed. People in the city should be advised to take certain measures from their end to prevent the disease. This is also correct, because people should also be educated. They should be told how to remain safe, how to make sure that they don't catch the flu. So both the actions are very correct, and both the actions should be followed simultaneously. Both the actions are needed. So we can write both 1 and 2 follow. Okay, see how practical both the actions are. Both the actions are trying to achieve the same goal, that is we have to avoid the flu, or we have to make sure that more people should not suffer from flu and the disease should be controlled. So remember, we have to take the practical action. Statement: According to a survey, the current water reservoir will deplete by 50% by 2050. Actions: Government of all the countries should appeal to all the citizens to use water carefully and avoid wastage. This is common sense. This should be done. So this is a logical action. So this is right. Okay, this is the logically this will follow. Next is scientists should start finding an alternative solution to water. This is absolutely nonsense and absurd. There is absolutely no alternative to water. If there had been any alternative solution to water, we would have tried it, and instead of wasting your resources and funds on such a thing like finding an alternative to water, then it is much better. It is like impractical. So we are unnecessarily wasting time and money over here. So this is not at all a viable or a logical or a practical solution. So only one follows. Statement: many students have gone on a mass leave in protest against the institute's new policies. Action: the institute should immediately withdraw the new policies. All these students should be suspended. Now this is a very, very harsh action, okay, that all the students should be suspended. So we cannot take such an action. It is not appropriate to take such impractical action. Now the institute should immediately withdraw the new policies. After reading the sentence, you might think that this is an appropriate action or a logical action, but it is not, absolutely not. Why? The new policies which are there, we do not know about the new policies. It might happen that out of the 10 policies, 5 might be good and 5 might be bad. We don't know for which policies the students are fighting or protesting against. Okay, so here the institute is here the action is that institute should immediately withdraw the new policies. That means all the policies it needs to withdraw, but that is not, that would be a very unthoughtful and a very knee-jerk reaction, that is immediate reaction, which is not useful. So even this is not a logical action. You might logical action might be that the students who have gone on protest, they might be asked to sit down and discuss their demands. What is it that they want, what is it that they don't want, and then you can come at a solution. So this can be a better option, but that is not a solution given over here or action given over here. So out of the two actions, none of them are useful, so neither one nor two follows. Moving to question number 11. Statement: increase in the pollution levels in the city by way of automobile exhaustions poses a severe threat to the inhabitants. Actions: all the automobile factories in the city should immediately be closed. Government should run programs to promote the use of public transport and carpooling by commuters. The government should allow only licensed factories and vehicles. Now all the three seem like a very good actions or very good options or logical options over here. Okay. Now, and you will be tempted to mark D, all follow, as the answer. But please pay attention over here, the third one. The government should allow only licensed factories and vehicles. This is a very, very correct and apt solution. So we should follow this solution. Okay. Now second one, let us see what it is. Government should run programs to promote the use of public transport and carpooling by commuters. This is also a very, very good solution. Okay. And this should also be done. So this is there. Now the first solution, all the automobile factories in the city should immediately be closed. Now some of you will say that automobile factories should not be there in city because they cause pollution, so they should immediately be closed. But they have given that there is an increase in pollution levels because of automobile exhaustions, okay, because of the vehicles which are running on the road. It is not because of the automobile factories in the city, okay. Also over here, so that what does it mean? That closing all the automobile factories within the city, other automobile factories which are like manufacturing, say, electric vehicles and all that stuff, and okay, these would also be closed. Then this is like a knee-jerk reaction or a reaction which is very impulsive. So this should not be taken. This requires some thought. This requires some analysis as to whether actually the automobile factories are causing the pollution or it is only the vehicles, okay. Also, which automobile factories are licensed, which are not. All these things are needed. So this is not the logical solution. So this gets cancelled. Only 2 and 3 follow. So both 2 and 3 follow. This is the answer. Statement: America is not likely to grant Pakistan's request for 300 billion fast disbursing loan for the current year. Actions: Pakistan should ask other countries for the loan. Pakistan should talk to America to grant the loan, giving it persuasive reasons and explaining the urgency. So Pakistan, this is a very possible action or logical action that Pakistan persuades America to grant the loan, okay, by giving good reasons. Now the first option which is there, Pakistan should ask other countries for the loan. You might think that, okay, no, why will Pakistan ask for other countries for the loan and all that stuff? But it is a very, very strong and possible and useful action, okay. This is a practical action. If Pakistan is finding that America is not giving it any loan or financial aid, then Pakistan should explore other options. So this is also an action which Pakistan can take simultaneously. Pakistan can also convince America to grant the loan. So Pakistan can work on both the fronts. So both the actions are possible, okay. Now if America gives the loan, then Pakistan does not need to ask other countries for the loan, and if other countries give the loan, then Pakistan need not ask America for the loan. So either one or two, Pakistan can choose any option. Pakistan can choose this option or this option. So either one or two follows, okay. Both 1 and 2 follow. It's not necessary that Pakistan starts working on both the fronts, okay. It can either take loan from here or it can take loan from here. It doesn't want double loan, so it can go either this way or this way. So the answer is either 1 or 2 follows. Statement: the Japanese petroleum industry venturing into the West European markets faces tough competition from the Chinese. Action: Japan should search for other markets for its products. Japan should improve the quality of the petroleum products to compete with the Chinese in capturing these markets. Now blindly, since you have seen question number 13, you can simply mark both these and say that both of them follow or either 1 or 2 follows. But please pay attention over here, okay. It is very important. People get confused and make silly mistakes over here only. You need to think over here. What is the second action? Japan should improve the quality of petroleum products to compete with the Chinese, okay. So this is a good option, logical option, so this should be followed. First one, Japan should search for other markets for its products. That means they are saying that Japan should leave Western European markets and search for other markets. Running away from the competition is not an option. You should never run away from competition, okay. You should never run away from a problem. You need to find a solution from the problem. If the competition is tough, find a solution. Solution cannot be running away from the competition, okay. So this is not a logical and practical action, okay. So only 2 follows. Question number 15. Statement: 5 terrorists were caught with illegal explosives in the city. Actions: the police should be on high alert to avoid any untoward incident. This is correct. This is a logical, practical action. The 5 terrorists should be set free and their movement should be watched to infiltrate the terror syndicate. You are not watching a movie, okay. But you might read this and say, oh, this is a very nice idea. We should do such a thing. We should infiltrate the terror syndicate, then kill the boss and get the terrorists and foil their plan. Don't do such a thing. This is very stupid and nonsense thing to do. Once you have caught the 5 terrorists, it's much better to interrogate them. If you leave them and if any one of them slips or gives any information to their terror syndicate, then it would spell trouble for the entire city, or they might foil the plan and we might not catch them again. So the terrorists should not be set free at all. You might interrogate them, you might put entire city on an high alert, but setting them free, it is only in the movies, okay. So only, this is wrong, okay. So only 1 follows. Statement: not just looks, internal beauty is extremely important. Actions: pay attention to fashion, do not pay attention to fashion. Books on self-development and spirituality should be encouraged. Now over here, pay attention. Here they are saying not just the looks, internal beauty is extremely important. So pay attention to fashion is not a logical answer or a logical option or action, okay. Do not pay attention to fashion, okay. This is also not logical. Why? Because they say not just looks. That means looks are important a little bit, but not that much. Most or extremely important is internal beauty. So here if we say do not pay attention to fashion, we are giving extremely low importance or negating external looks, okay. Here we are increasing the importance of external looks, here we are decreasing the importance of external looks. So these are not these are not logical solutions or actions, okay. We should have a balance, right. Now over here third one is books on self-development and spirituality should be encouraged. Now you will think this is not even related to the statement, so this is also not an answer. So let's write neither of the three follow, and then you look at the options and you realize that there is no such option as neither of the three follow. Okay, so we need to, again you will leave this question and you will not get marks, but the answer is right in front of you. Here it is given internal beauty is extremely important. Internal beauty is self-development and spirituality. So the books on self-development and spirituality should be encouraged. It is an advice. They are not making you compulsion that read these books and all that stuff, but it is an advice because these books will help you enhance the internal beauty. So this is relevant. This is a very relevant action, right? To improve the internal beauty. So whenever you find such kind of advice, then think twice before neglecting that advice, before thinking that it is worthwhile or not. This is a very relevant and related action. So logical, practical action. So only 3 follows. So this is the answer. See how easy statement and course of action was. There is absolutely nothing. Use just your common sense and logic. Also, whatever tips we have given at the start, pay attention to them. Do avoid negative and harsh actions if possible. Also, make sure that the actions should not have unpredictable outcomes and all that stuff. Okay. Also, we should make sure that the problem has to be solved. New problems should not be created by our actions. Okay. It's very easy. Just practice and you will be able to master this topic.